Using JavaScript to read information about the nodes on our page is all very well, but we really want to be able to change it. Now, step one for doing this is always going to be get the element. You need that variable to be a handle on the element. Sure, we know that we've got elements and we also have attributes and text nodes, but it's the element that comes first. Attribute nodes and text nodes belong to elements. If you're writing HTML, you don't write an attribute by itself. It's the attribute of an element. So that's what comes first. Step two is, okay, then we can change it. And the question is, what do you want to change about it? If you were manually editing this code in a text editor, what would you want to do? Do you want to pick an attribute and change it, or add a new attribute? Do you want to change a link inside a heading? Do you want to add a whole bunch of new elements inside a div or inside a list? Well, we can do all of that, but let's talk about changing existing elements rather than creating new ones. We'll get to that in a minute. One of the simplest changes we could make is to change an attribute of an element. Once we've got that element, JavaScript actually has two methods we can use to directly work with its attributes. There's getAttribute and setAttribute. GetAttribute is very simple. We just need to say what attribute. You pass this as a string in double quotes. It's the name of the attribute, a line, title, class, source. SetAttribute, very similar, but we need a bit more information. We pass in a value. So we call the setAttribute method, we pass it the name in quotes, we pass it the value in quotes, always as a string. If the attribute doesn't currently exist, it will be created. Let's take a look at this. So I have a simple HTML page that I have here. There's nothing remarkable about it. It's just to have something to work with. You could work with a test page yourself. I have that open in my editor here, and down at the bottom I have a link to my script.js file, which is in the same folder, which is actually over here. It has a few lines, but they're all commented out, just so you don't have to watch me type code all the time. So what I'm going to do is I want to grab hold of a section of this page and change it. And the thing I'm going to grab is actually this div here on line 22. It's got an ID of main content. It doesn't currently have any attributes set, but we can change that. So over in my JavaScript, I'm just going to uncomment line 1 here. That's just a document.getElementById of main content, storing it in a variable called main content. Then I can use that variable and just call setAttribute. The attribute is a line and the value is right. So I'll just save that JavaScript file, flick over into Firefox, and this is the area that I should be affecting. That's what that div is containing. So if I refresh this page, yes, indeed, we've got a line right now. So it's a very easy task to just change the attributes of an element that you have a handle to. Well, what if we want to get a little bit deeper than that? What if I want to change the contents of an element? Say I've got an H1 that I want to change, or a paragraph that I want to change. Well, you have a couple of options here. The simplest option is a method called inner HTML. That's inner in lowercase and HTML in uppercase. And you can use that on any element you have. It allows you to either read or change the entire contents of that element. So let's say here I've got an anchor tag with an ID of main title. And right now it contains the words, "Welcome to Explore California." I'm going to jump over in my JavaScript and uncomment a little line there where I'm creating main title and just using document.getElementById of main title. I'm now going to uncomment just a console.log message and ask for main title's inner HTML property. Save that, jump back over, and I'll refresh this page. I need to have Firebug open to see that. And the console.log message is writing out, "Welcome to Explore California." So in this case, inner HTML of this anchor tag is giving us the text inside it. And when you have a very simple tag, inner HTML can be a good way to work with it. A simple H1 is fine, as is an A tag, even as a paragraph. Grabbing, for example, a div might give you a little more. Let's say we get a div that contains quite a few things, like this div ID of sidebar. If I do exactly the same kind of thing here, let's just change that and call it a var sidebar and log out its inner HTML. Jump back over to Firefox and refresh the page. Well, you see what we're getting here is the entire contents of that div and all its divs inside it and all its H2s. This certainly wouldn't be anywhere near as easy to start to manipulate as it would be if I just wanted to change the title or the words of a paragraph or an H1. So if I want a little more finesse, I'm not going to use inner HTML. If it's an element that contains other elements, you might have a bit more thinking to do. And the best way to explain how we actually start to drill down into the interior of the page probably comes from learning how to create elements. While you could use inner HTML and manually type all the HTML yourself in your JavaScript, that's not the best way to do it, as we'll see in a moment.